I love it.
All right, hello. We are here with wow, some amazing guests today. Got me a little nervous today because they are experts in what we're doing, kind of. So I'm here with Alyssa Angelo and Mr. Tyler Willis. These are your real estate experts at photography. So they're judging my light show here
It's perfect.
and
It's perfect.
everything. They've actually been wonderful, very encouraging. So thank y'all. Glad y'all are here.
Heck yeah.
Thank you for setting this up.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect opportunity
Yeah.
for all of us.
Well, I've got a great lead-in question, just because I've known both of you. You mostly through Facebook, but tell me how you found each other and what was the interview process like. I want to know what about Alyssa said boom, because
Yeah.
you have a lot of stake. You have an incredible reputation and are extremely busy and just doing amazing things. And you took on somebody that I wouldn't even say is new to photography because you've been doing it as long as
Yeah.
I've known you. So you've had an incredible path to where you are. But how did y'all find each other? What about her made you say, I'm willing to trust you with my business?
Yeah, I'll be blunt. I was getting to the point to where I was having to tell people no. And so I started having a lot of agents going, "Hey, there's this new girl." She reached out first, and then we just kind of text back and forth. And then you went on vacation. You went somewhere, and you're like, "Hey, I'll be back in like a week."
Yeah.
And then we kind of just set up a little quick meeting, and I was real blunt. I was like, "Look, I'm so overwhelmed." I was like, "I will train you. I'll do whatever, but I can't keep telling people no." And
That's
so
awesome.
that's kind of how it started.
Yeah.
So
Well, because I was going to go into it on my own, which had no clients. Like I was starting from zero, and I from people that we all know, like I just heard his name and got his contact and was like, "Can you help me?" And he was way too nice because obviously like we weren't like doing it together then, but he was giving me all this like information and helping me out, and then he was finally just like, "You want to just like
just
do
do
it
it.
together?"
Just do this.
Like,
Yeah.
And so it's been awesome. I'm super excited about that, or happy about that.
Yeah. And then, so like for context, I do anywhere between until about August. I was doing 25 to 30 a week by myself. And so, yeah, a
So
week.
that's
Yeah,
do
I
the math
was
real quick.
exactly.
So I'm sure you're off on Sundays. So
Well, no, because I do church on Sundays. I do.
I mean,
Yeah.
oh, you do
Off.
all the media for
Yeah.
Southside?
Yeah.
Well, in Noonan.
Yes. Well, I go
Oh.
between all the different campuses.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least two on Sundays, and so I do theirs on. So technically, I was only having Saturdays, and even then, I was booking shoots. So I was getting to the point where I was like, I've got to find somebody,
Wow.
and so
So I'm sorry, I interrupted you. So you were doing 25 a week.
yeah, 25 to 30 a week, and then I was getting to the point to where I was just getting burnt out.
Yeah.
And so to go from what I was wanting to do to try to scale, I was going to have to start taking people on to like train. And then eventually I was like, okay, I've got to figure out a system. And then one day, Alyssa, I was like, hey, we're going to go to a shoot and you're just going to follow me around. So we did that for about 3 houses that day. And yeah, ever since then, it would just be like, hey, like I'd get the photos back and be like, hey, let's kind of just critique this, look at it this direction, change a few things. And so a lot after that first day has just been like after shoots, kind of looking at different processes.
So I imagine like a mechanic, like you're bringing your daughter along. Like, hold the light steady. Hold it steady.
Yeah, it was. No, I mean, I think we all held the screwdriver, like our dad doing the screwdriver, and we're holding the flashlights and getting yelled at, kind of thing. But it hasn't been like that at all. It was more like, hey, like these are the different angles I'm thinking through when I get to a house. Like when I'll do an initial walkthrough, let the owner know if they need to move anything, how long I'm going to be there, and then try to be as respectful of my time and their time as while I'm there.
Is there a house that's just unphotographable?
Oh, I've done. She had one just the other day. So
maybe you should just do a cover photo.
yeah, we've had some of those, but I always tell agents like, hey, I can at least do the exteriors, and then y'all are working on the inside, or we'll just have to reschedule this. So
yeah, I've looked at mostly like in Panama City or at the beach when you look, and when the cover photo is of the beach.
That's when you know it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, I might wonder. I don't know if that's what it is.
You know it's gonna be bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for both of you, what is the origin of photographers? Is there one you've done it forever, so I don't know how young you were, but is there one photo? Like I imagine a golfer. Most people say it's that
Yeah.
one time you chipped one and it went in.
Yeah.
It was 1 out of 100, and that's when you fell in love with golf. Is there a one photo that you took, or a moment, or anything that just said, "This is I love
Yeah.
photography"?
You can go first.
Yeah,
Mine's gonna take a minute.
I wouldn't say like I have like a specific photo, but I do remember. I think it was like because I did photography through college, but like I never thought of it as it's going to be my job. And then last year, starting to get out of college and wondering what I need to do, and I just was like, I went on this shoot and for a engagement, like a proposal, and I remember texting my friend after that, like, man, like I want to do this because I just loved being able to like be in that moment and like share something special with people and then be able to give them that experience.
Yep.
So that's like a moment I felt that and why I continue to do it. But I don't think there's like a specific photo or anything, but just being with the people and making it an experience, not just like about the photos, but taking the photos and being in that moment and helping facilitate that moment for them.
Right.
It felt good.
So event photography was your.
Yeah, I would say like couples, engagements, proposals. That was kind of where what I was doing for a long time.
Did you do that before sports? Because you did a lot
No,
of sports
no.
photography.
I started with sports, and that's how I
Okay.
got into photography. Just because in college I had access to every sporting event.
Mhm.
I was an athlete. People knew me, so I could go on the field and with my camera, and no one would say anything.
Yeah.
And then eventually people would start like, "Oh, well, I'm graduating this year. Can you take my photos?" I was like, "Sure, like I'll try it."
Yeah.
I've never done that. They probably looked really bad. So I'm sorry
You
to
need to
those.
find those photos.
Yeah, I'm sorry to
Say.
those people, but no. And then I just kind of went from there, and some of my coaches wanted family photos, and then I just kept going. I was like, oh, like I could make some extra. I wasn't charging anything.
In the beginning,
I was
yeah,
like,
you're
super,
praying.
Like, yeah, I was like, I'll take like $20. But
Yep.
yeah, I just grew from there, and it was just very natural. I didn't do anything photography in high school,
Yeah.
so it was just once I got to college and started doing sports and stuff. That's when I kind of went off.
So what got you into photography?
Mine goes back to the 90s. So,
90s.
yeah. So we all had to do science fair projects. And I had no idea what the different film speeds were, what like cameras were, anything. And so, my seventh grade science fair project was looking at the different film speeds and cameras. And so I set up a test subject and I did the same time, like a morning, afternoon, dusk with the different speeds. And so I would take a series of shots, however many, I think a roll of film back then was like 12 to 15 shots. It was like
Yeah.
really limited. And so it was 100, 200, 400, 800 speeds. So then I would put everything as a makeshift tripod because those were expensive. And so I just set it up on this little thing that held it steady. And then I talked to some local photographers to figure out like what I needed to look for in terms of like sharpness, saturation, colors, that kind of thing. And then documented. So I did it all over the course of a couple days. And then I had to send all the film off and then wait a week for it to come back. And then I had to sit down and compare them all. So that's kind of how I did it. I didn't win anything, of course, because it wasn't an interesting project back
Yeah.
then. I think the kid that won did something with like candles.
Yeah.
And so mine all started from a middle school science fair project.
Okay. So did you ever do the shoebox? I remember that vividly, where we did the shoebox where you had the tape over it and you opened it for
Oh, no,
a
I never
second
did
and
that.
closed it. We did it down there. And then we
No.
actually took it in and developed them and we put them in the
What?
water and moved them back
Oh,
and
cool.
forth. Like I
No.
feel like we did that a couple times. We had to build our own camera and did the
Oh, that's cool.
exposure.
That's fun.
I don't remember. I didn't learn
Yeah,
anything from
Yeah,
it
yeah.
other than, I guess, just the
the
theory,
process of it.
the theory of light exposure or whatever.
That's awesome.
So, what is more important, the skill of taking the photo or the editing?
Oh, man. Whew, you're going to make some people mad with that. So, to me, I think it's the art behind the camera, not so much the computer now. So, like in the moment, like when we get to a shoot, we have to like position ourselves to like avoid certain areas or avoid certain pieces of crowd noise or whatever that's going on. So to me, it's behind the camera, not behind the computer. where the real art is. Especially now, you can just throw something into any AI filter,
Right.
and so. But to me, it's like behind the camera is where the art is.
Right.
Yeah.
I would agree because I love taking photos, and I mean, I take a lot of photos.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows me, and obviously on
Yeah.
social media, you see I take so many photos, and I try to be artsy, like holding the camera upside down, all that
Yeah.
stuff. And I just don't have the skill. Like I don't have that natural.
But you enjoy it.
But I love it.
Yeah.
And I love trying it, and
Yeah.
but then I don't have the attention span to go through them all to figure
Yeah.
out which one's any good. So
Yeah.
I would agree because even I've got a good friend that is so natural at it and just can just take 2 photos and make them look great
done.
and instantly, like
Yeah.
they're quickly they can position a person or themselves to take a great photo.
Yeah.
And where I'm like, got to take 400 and change it in every direction just to get one.
Yeah, I would agree too because I feel like you can nowadays you can edit colors, you can make
Everything.
pinks, purples, or whatever, and you can edit light and manipulate everything in editing. But it's hard like composition, and then also just like, I mean, I guess that doesn't really relate too much to real estate, but just in normal photography, like capturing a moment, you have to know that moment's coming.
Yeah.
And so like you can't make up a moment in editing, but like if you are aware like, oh, this might happen at this time, you have to be ready to take that photo.
Yes.
Then if you miss that shot, that's never.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the focus of if you watch a wedding photographer,
Mm-hmm.
which sometimes I do because weddings are boring, so I'll watch the photographer. And some of them, just the focus and the movement. And I've seen them when they're, corralling's a horrible word, coordinating with other photographers they're all working and they're moving themselves around and obviously trying not to be part of the wedding.
Yeah, not to be a distraction.
But yet to capture the whole thing. It is a true art. It's pretty amazing.
Like imagine like a Sunday service too. Like you'll see the people on stage with like the video cameras projecting out to the sides. But the people in the back, you hardly ever see us because we're in the shadows, constantly moving, trying to find the moment to capture.
Oh, wow.
And so
I always wondered, like, because, when you go to a rock show, there's somebody, they're holding it on the guitars, like, the whole time. And, like, I don't know. So I guess there's somebody in the back room pushing the buttons as well.
Yeah, because at any given time at Southside, especially over here at Peachtree City, there's like 4 cameras on stage. There's at least 2 on stage, and there's like 4 in the back. And there's constant switching between the stuff on the sides of the screens, and you
What's
just never.
That job called? Because I want to do it. Where you're
Switcher.
Like, it's like 1 take 2. Or like
It's
2
got to be
take
high end.
3.
I don't know if it was a movie or maybe I just saw a TikTok video, but it was that room when they captured a huge moment, and they were like, "No hold, stay on 3, stay on 3, stay on 3," and I was like fascinated by it. I was like, "That is incredible."
Yep.
That was very exciting.
I've seen those too. I always love it whenever they have like the little book in front of them. They're looking at all the notes, and they're like, hold 3, hold 3, hold 3. Now 6, 6, 6. So it's like push it. So I love those. They're fun to watch too.
Well, speaking of 666.
Oh, geez.
You said it. That my transition was actually to you post a lot about Southside. I go to Southside a lot, and you post a lot, and your excitement is contagious about.
Oh man!
Like when you post, like this weekend we were at a soccer tournament, so I missed.
Yeah.
And you post like, I just love this series, and I was like, oh my god, what did I miss? And I have to go online and find it.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
it definitely keeps people on track. But what is it about Southside that just has you on fire?
So it goes back to when my wife and I got married. This is a funny story, and sorry where this is going, but we legit, when we moved to the area, we said, what church has a website? So there was only 2 at the time, and so we went to the first one because it was closer to home.
Yeah.
And then we stayed there for about a year or so, but then once we were looking into starting a family, we started looking into the children's ministries, like who really pours into the kids. And so that's what transitioned us to Southside. Yeah. And at that time, we had to go to Peachtree City because it was the only one. Okay. And so then they announced at one of their Sundays, they announced the new location was going to be opening soon. And so we went to like an interest meeting to get started with volunteering. And we've been there ever since the doors opened in the new location.
So I think I did go to a Christmas, it wasn't Christmas, it was just music. It was just
like a night of worship. Yeah.
It wasn't just worship, it was at Christmas. And it was, but that's the only time I've been in there except for the men's group. So it's a beautiful building. Like it's incredible.
Yeah.
I love it. even more than the Peachtree City location.
Yeah.
I like the aesthetics of the building.
Yeah.
And
There's
the
4 of
entryway
them now
and-
too. So there's the one in Serenby, and so
Yes.
that's more just for the locals in Serenby, which is fantastic. Like I love going out there because it's so family friendly. Like everybody
Okay.
knows everybody. And there's a Fayetteville location near Peachtree City.
So I pictured the Serenby like being in a horse barn.
It's close. It's really close.
So yeah, the Fayetteville one is awesome as well because I
Yeah.
love that you can come right outside and
Go to lunch.
lunch and play
Yep.
and just hang out. So your volunteering is the photography side of it or anything else at Southside?
Yeah, so I start whenever I'm not behind the camera. I work in Wamba Land, which is for the kids ministry. It's like
Okay.
6.
It's the babies.
It's the
right?
babies up until like pre-K, somewhere in that range. I always forget, but I do all their stuff behind. I do all the lights, the audio, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I don't hold babies and do that kind
For
of
the
thing.
little,
Yeah.
for their little stage.
Oh yeah,
thing.
they have lights. They have
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards too.
I was the storyteller.
Hey, so
in
there you get it.
Upstreet
Yep.
For a while, and then I went downstairs. I was like, "Wow, y'all are doing this down here too for babies."
Yep.
They had a stage and lights and
Mhm.
everything. It's amazing what they put into that. And I've questioned, like just financially, like wow, this is where they're spending money. Like there's so much more need out there, and yet they're spending it on lights and production and these things. And I'm like, but God, my kid loves going to church.
Yeah.
100%.
Loves it.
Yeah, and if it helps you on that side, it's the same equipment that we've been using forever, and so it's not like it's constantly getting refreshed.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't. It's resolved, man. It's like that one little question. It's like, man,
but it draws the kids in
is,
and
and
keeps
they
them coming
love
every
it.
week.
they
Yeah.
love it.
The other week I did one for transit, which is the high school, and so we went and I had and they do theirs like 4:30 in the afternoon. It's just a service for the high schoolers, and that music's pumping. They got lights and everything too, but their pastors just pour into them. Like that's where it is. So
And they're young. And
they're yep.
I just moved up to started because my son's now in transit, and I did not want to volunteer there because he did not want me to volunteer there.
Dad, get away.
But I'm doing a little part on the side where I'm not really involved.
Yep.
But I'm actually seeing what they're doing, and it's pretty cool. Like, those kids are excited there.
Oh yeah, got to get you in. Once you're
Yes.
there, then you're like, oh yeah, I don't want to
Love
miss.
Yes. So I want to talk about you. You are a state champion in lacrosse.
Whoop, whoop.
10 years ago.
That long ago?
Yeah, it's
Like
six.
Yeah, but you also played college lacrosse. Like you have found so much success in athletics. So, are your parents, were they athletics? Athletics.
Athletes.
Athletes.
I mean, they might hate me for saying, but I don't no, not
Have
really.
you seen that TikTok trend where they're
It's
like,
okay.
Dad, what do you think you'd be if you were ever athletic? Or
Yeah.
like they're asking
Oh,
people that,
God.
and it's like they're so offended. Like if
Yeah.
if you asked me that, I'd be like, I'm athletic. What are you talking
Yeah, I
about?
think my dad might have grown up playing baseball or something, and my mom.
He looks athletic.
Yeah, he does. The athletic build is definitely from them, but I don't think they ever used it for anything
Okay.
really. My mom cheered at Macintosh, I think.
Oh wow.
So, my mom is not athletic. Sorry, mom. But yeah, they're
And your dad is a teacher of
art.
art. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, but he helps with lacrosse, doesn't he? At Fayette
Yeah.
County High School.
Yeah, he's coaching the Fayette County lacrosse team, and then I'm gonna join him this spring and help coach him
Really?
with him. Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. I'm really excited for that. But he likes to say that he's forgotten more, or he knows.
He's forgotten more about lacrosse than you ever knew. Is that
No,
right?
I've forgotten more about
Oh, than
lacrosse
he
than
knows.
he ever
Okay.
knows. Yeah.
Okay,
But-
yeah.
I mean, that's true. I mean, there's an old saying though: is those that can't teach.
Yeah.
And that's so offensive to teachers.
Yeah.
But the point of it is some people that aren't naturally athletic don't understand the details of what it takes to be a good player.
Yeah.
And some people that had to work harder to learn how to pass, shoot, and dribble,
Yeah.
they might not have been as gifted, as skilled, but they knew that process, so then they can convey that.
Yep.
Somebody that's super athletic like yourself, you might not know because you're like, I don't know, I just picked up a stick and I was able to shoot goals. Like, I don't know how to do it.
Yeah,
But the other kid that
100%.
had to work for months and months, that's where the saying comes from. Because I've said that before, and some teachers have gotten highly offended.
Yeah.
And it's not about whether you're good or not. It's just a matter of, I believe that they are, they've had to study more. They had to
Yeah.
work harder through the process, and maybe they remember what it took for them to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so then they can pass it on.
Yeah, there is no one better than my dad to be in that position at Fayette County to coach that team. Like the way that he builds them up so well, and it does not matter how much he knows about lacrosse in that scenario.
Yeah.
It doesn't, because I mean they do need they're on passing and catching until the end of the season. That's that's what we do, and that is where I struggle, because I never I was taught how to catch and throw, but I already kind of knew how to do it when I got to the sport. So if I'm trying to teach a young kid, I go crazy. I'm out of my mind. I don't know how to tell this to you. But bring it to the college level, and I can go into all the detail of what kind of zone we're running, or what kind of shot and how to do it, and all the specifics. My brain will light up in that. But when it comes to dumbing it down, I'm oh gosh, that I struggle with that, and I just need patience with it too.
Well, I know all of your coaches, even with David King, they never played before.
Yeah.
But they're just really intelligent when it comes to sports, and so to figure out strategy and all that. To hear David talk about basketball and what should be happening with 28 seconds left, I'm you're supposed to shoot, score a lot.
Just keep going.
He's call timeout. I'm there's 30 seconds left. Anyway.
Yeah, but I'm joining him at UGA in the spring as well, so that's gonna be super fun. We're excited for that.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm so pumped. Never got to coach with him, so that's awesome.
Wow, maybe you can get us all some swag. Get us some season tickets to Georgia football.
I think you can just show up to these games.
Oh, that's true. So how does that translate into photography? How does your involvement in the church and what you've learned there, and not just photography, but maybe the way you run your business, and how you go about your daily activities in business? How does sports enter involved, and how is just being so involved in church and the things that we learned from Andy Stanley and from church and serving?
Yeah.
How does that translate into your career?
Yeah. So mine also dates back to my dad and my mom. They had a small business growing up. They were family chiropractors in Thomasville, Georgia. And so I only ever knew the small business lifestyle. Growing up, I was in the office answering phones, folding towels, vacuuming, that kind of thing. And so it was always, in their word, it was patients first. So I've just transcended, and now it's just clients first. So how can I serve you kind of mentality? And so anything that I can do to make something better at a shoot, if it even involves me having to make a bed, which I absolutely hate touching people's beds, but if I have to, whatever has to get done, has to get done. And so that's the mentality I bring in, is clients first, everything else second inside the business day.
Wow. That I want to get to that question, because you just gave me that sounds like a good story you've got to have some phobias.
Oh yeah.
Of I'm a weird person. I can clean a toilet all day. If we're at a Boy Scout event and we have to do something for I was I'll do the bathroom. It just doesn't bother me. I don't know why. But a bed?
Yeah, a little something different. Yeah.
Or a towel.
A towel.
I don't touch a towel. No, I don't touch a towel.
Any dirty clothes. If they were dirty clothes, I just no.
Yeah.
No. So is yours the bed?
The bed.
Or is it linens in general? Or
it's
just
anything in bedroom baths. And so I don't touch towels. I'll point it out either to the agent if they come, or to the homeowner, hey, can you move this? So, but those are probably my pet peeves, are beds and baths.
So would you rather be no towel or a nice folded towel?
No towel.
No towel.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just me personally, but everybody's different.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to that question. Just sports involved in your...
Yeah. Well, I feel directly related to us working together, you're always just told to do your job and do it well. I have a role in what we do, and my job every time I go out to work is to do that job 100%. I don't have to worry about some other things, but when I'm doing that job, then that's exactly what I need to be doing, and doing it as good as possible. So I feel that definitely transfers over from sports, and then maybe not related to photography as much, but just like life is just like, man, there were some rough times in college, especially as an athlete, and like tearing your ACL or going through COVID or whatever it is. Like things can just be like this, and as much as you can stay here, I think that is so important because I mean I had to learn how to lose a lot in college, and I was never used to losing, and so I feel like I learned that a lot of really good things come from loss, and I've just tried to carry that with me. It doesn't have to be like a huge loss or like anything, but even if it is, like things still become good and get better from that. And some of my favorite games I've ever played were losses, and just you learn so much in that experience. You come together so much in that experience, and I mean I could probably name you the top 5. 3 of those top 5 games I have in my career are losses. And just from coming from behind and maybe being so close but not getting there, or just absolutely like bombing it, you always learn something after, and it's a lot easier to learn from a loss than a win. But
for sure.
Just kind of sticking with that and staying as even as possible, and not letting wins get to your head, and that can make you complacent and all that type of stuff. So I just feel like if you can stay as even as possible, you're in a pretty good headspace for life.
I mean, for the losses, you kind of start thinking about the details of
what I do wrong.
What did I just overlook? What was that one small thing where if you win, you might not be thinking about because you got away with it.
Yep.
You didn't edit out that one person that was in the mirror and looks like a ghost or whatever.
Yep.
And you got away with it because everybody was happy. But then that one person that might, hey, really, you're gonna give us this photo? And you're like, yeah, you really are.
You're right. Yeah.
Yep. And another thing she didn't mention is that she just recently had a wedding where it was like a 9-hour event. So like that's where the athletics is kicking in too. Because I'm on my feet for that long, I'm dead for a week afterwards. She was like the next day she had like 3 shoots afterwards. So it's like
wedding?
I was there from.
But that's the.
I got there at 10 a.m. and I left at right around 11:30.
See, 13.
Nope. I was dying though. Like
I wouldn't know.
Well, my photography story is when I got married, the photographer did not show up.
What?
And neither.
Epic.
I thought that I could do the whole wedding myself, and I pretty much did, other than like small things like when do we start the wedding?
Yeah.
Like there was no wedding planning, so who tells who to start?
See?
Like I'm not thinking about that in the beginning, and then neither of us, me or my wife at the time, knew the photographer didn't show up. She thought she was like, "Where shouldn't they be with me?" And then like when I see her, we're like up there. She's like, "The photographer." I was like, thank God we were saved because the DJ, a really cool DJ, took tons of photos. That was his stick. We didn't even know that.
Oh wow.
We got it. We hired a really good DJ.
Yeah.
But his whole thing was he took so many photos and then he played a slideshow during the reception with the music.
Wow.
So he saved us.
Wow.
Because we would have had no photos.
Nope.
Like.
Oh, that would have been so sad.
Yeah.
That's
we got
like
divorced.
that's so stressful though. Like as a photographer.
Yeah,
like,
I would have been stressed to the max.
Here's the thing. We got married on a Friday, I believe. He showed up on Saturday at the house where we were all at. It was a destination wedding in Charleston. He's like, I just wrote down wrong. He's like, you're right. I remember. He just wrote it down wrong. He felt.
You also just gone back in the tux and dress and done some photos.
Yeah.
No.
You're like, oh, no, I'm good.
It worked out. We might have done something like that if, but we also got a nice check back.
Yeah.
That we were able to really enjoy.
Take on the honeymoon.
Yes, we did. So, all right, well, let's go to the fun stuff that everybody wants to know. What have you seen in a house? What has made you nervous?
Is this a PG, a PG-13, RX? Like, where are we going?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Turn it off if you don't want to.
Yep.
I can imagine.
The only thing I have not seen, I haven't seen a torture room yet. I'm waiting for the day so I can put it on Zillow going wild.
I had a realtor on here that said the swing was up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that too. I've seen that. Yep. That's had to go away. That's pretty normal. That's why I've said beds and baths is a no-no for me. So. Nope.
If I was in the swings, it'd be too hard to take it down. I mean, it's got to be pretty sturdy. So
No.
it's like,
Nope.
I don't know. So
No.
anything that scared you? Anything
I don't
like
know.
not scared, like this looks like they're doing something illegal. Like there are some.
Oh yeah, I've
I'm
gone
sure there's
in.
plenty of just drug paraphernalia, but any
Yeah.
large amounts of cash or drugs or
Mm.
guns or. Are there really any secret cabinets that open up and there's guns that?
Oh yeah, we just did one.
Really?
Yeah, they had I don't know what all I can say about it, but there was a room that we were told we could not go in. Yeah. So
Wow.
but for me personally, I have done one where I walked into the home, instantly knew it was a squatter situation, and walked out, called the agent, and then they called the cops.
Okay.
So
Did it work out? Did they get them out? Because I know that's been a big issue.
yeah, eventually, about 2 weeks later, I was able to come back and do the shoot.
Okay,
So
well, that's pretty good
Yeah.
turnaround for
yeah,
squatters because I've heard some horror stories. I think that's getting better.
hopefully, because they're still using like that COVID thing with it, like you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never understood any of that crap. So.
Yeah, I'm just moving in with them. Like, that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm moving in, and I'm
Like,
just
you
gonna
take
flip
that
it on 'em.
room.
Like, yeah, let me live here. And,
Like, hey, you gotta pay rent.
yeah.
You gotta do
That'd be
something.
funny. That would be awful. So what can agents do, or what can homeowners do to
Oh
have the
yeah.
house ready for photography? Like, what are the just most basic things? Like, you walk in, you're like, come on, you knew
Yeah.
I was coming, and
Yeah.
you're
Well,
to
thanks.
make the bed.
Yeah, just make the bed. But no, I actually have a prep list I send out to every agent before we show
Okay.
up. Whether or not they send it to the client, that's a different story. And so, my biggest thing is if you've got nice kitchen countertops, get stuff off to showcase that you've got a nice kitchen. Because, our age old living rooms, kitchens, bedrooms, that's what sells the house.
Yeah.
But to me, too, it's like the garages. So, like, we just recently did one where it was a 3-car garage and it was immaculate on the inside. So photographed it and the husband saw it and then instantly put a contract in on the house just based off the garage.
Right.
So if you got a nice garage, showcase it. Like, everybody uses them as a dumping ground. But if it's really nice, go ahead and clean it out, do something.
So that was a question. Would you rather it look like empty? Like what's the word that they use? Not empty, obviously. Staged
Yeah.
or lived in, and not lived in as in like dirty
Yeah.
clothes everywhere, but.
Yeah.
What's the preference, or can you even
I
tell the
prefer
difference?
stage.
Yeah.
If I'm looking, like, I'm always on Zillow, but if I'm looking at a house, I mean, I don't really have a preference either way. Not that I can really buy a house. But,
Soon.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
getting there.
but I don't know. I just like the stage look a lot, but I don't mind
I lived in.
a lived in.
To me, it looks like when the house was built is kind of where I look at. So if it's like a 80s, 90s, early 2000s, I like a lived in. But if it's a brand new build, I want it like a stage look versus vacant.
Okay.
And so that's why I always offer virtual staging because it helps a potential buyer imagine the space.
Okay.
And so that's always a little
So
add-on.
you do that.
Mhm.
You add furniture.
Yeah, we
You
can.
do some. Oh, that's pretty cool. I was asking somebody in another one I did about renovation. Somebody that because your $200,000 house, $250,000 house,
Hmm.
they don't have the money typically to replace those Formica countertops. And I think sometimes they need the agent that's trying to sell that needs to be able to show people the vision of what that would look like with,
Yeah.
with
Reimagine.
$1,000 worth of countertops.
Yep.
Like we're not talking about huge things.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, where do you go to do something like that? So I'm guessing there are places where you could do the same thing for renovations if they wanted to take something out. Or
For
finish
sure.
it.
Almost anything can be done now in digital. So
Yeah. That's true. So how much of a photograph? How well do we trust?
I trust
So-
nothing.
Yeah.
I trust nothing
I'll send him
nowadays.
things, and he's like, I can't even tell if
Yeah.
that's real or fake.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
Okay, but for real estate, how can a person tell? Like if I'm looking on Zillow for a
Mhm.
house, how can you? Because y'all are really good at your angles, making a room look bigger and making this. And I don't even know if this is a good question because there might not be a way to answer that. But is there anything that a buyer beware that they know? Hey, if you see this in a photo, know that might not be real or bad. I don't know. Or maybe there's a way that they're over edited that you see in other people's stuff that,
Yeah.
you know, hey, if it's too bright or if whatever, I
Yeah.
don't know if it's.
I think AI things should have a disclaimer on it.
Yes. 100%.
Because it's optional, right? Because I know that when I do Instagram and different things,
Yeah.
it says there's a button
Yeah.
Yep.
that asks me if I want to tell people that
AI generated.
AI was generated.
Yeah.
And I don't use AI so far for photos.
And I get like a few things, like hole in the wall that's gonna be fixed. You know, like
Yep. Little things.
cover it up. It's like super
Right.
easy, but like I think you can tell sometimes if like something's really wrong. If you think it's wrong, it probably is.
Yeah.
Like if it looks weird, it's probably not natural.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just weird.
Yeah.
But I think
And I guess there's not much of a loss because most people are going to go see the house. But I
Mhm.
know, I guess the reason it sparks in my head is because in our training in the mortgage industry is appraisal fraud.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, look at these pictures. And then they show the real house. And it's like, oh, wow. And there was one where they just took a picture of the front, but there was no back to the
Oh,
house.
yeah.
Like that was one of the big
They're
examples. That's
intentional.
probably that, right. I mean, it was
Yeah.
intentionally mortgage fraud.
Yeah.
They were in cahoots with the appraiser. And all
That makes sense.
So that's where that question comes from. Anything fun or interesting you want to share with
Well, back to
anybody?
that question real quick. Like for us, we try to make the house look 100% like what it is in real. That way, when we deliver, we can kind of say like, hey, this is exactly how it looked. What happens after would be copyright infringement if the agent does anything different. And so if they manipulate stuff, that's after us, and that's 100% on the agent at that point.
So who owns the photos?
We do. So the copyright stays with the photographer unless they buy a license to use it.
Does that happen? Is that something that?
Not really in real estate. It's mostly in commercial for my purposes, and then wedding magazines, that kind of stuff.
Like that. And I mean, as someone like you were about to say, like weddings, like nobody needs the license to those photos. Like they have all personal use for it without a license. They just can't like post it in like a magazine or
Without
on a
our
website and
permissions.
without permission. So, yeah.
All right, so give me an editing trick. So when they send home that school photo and it's got that big red thing across, how do I get that off?
You can't, because that would be stealing.
It would. I know. I'm joking, but they've gotten very expensive with those photos, and we don't hang them anymore. Like that's the difference. Like when I was a kid,
They were everywhere.
every single and oddly, I buy one every time, and they're in a pile. Because one day I'm going to frame them all and hang them up in the hallway.
Eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So what about the holidays? How does that factor in with your photos? Do you ask them not to decorate?
Yes, because it's a timestamp.
Yes.
So to me, if I see, it depends too on the time of the year. 4th of July, I don't mind that kind of stuff because that's patriotic. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, time dates your photos if you're on market anytime after that.
Okay.
And so I always offer, hey, if they want to go ahead and decorate, I'll come in and shoot it. As soon as that holiday's over, they take it down. It's just a reshoot fee to redo whatever rooms were done.
So will you do that for the outside, say, like right now it's fall, which can be actually very pretty, but then it gets into the dreary time where the photos aren't that good.
Yeah.
And then, well, hopefully the house sells by the time spring comes around. But in this market, it's changing a little bit.
Yep.
So that's just a reshoot fee. But they just need to know they should do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
and that's pretty much common in our market. Like anytime there's any length of stay on market, the agents kind of know what they need to do like a little refresh on something. And so even if it's like hey, we brought the stager in and we want to reshoot these 2 rooms. And so stuff like that. That's pretty simple.
Are there any stats on Tyler Willis Media photography homes sell in 23 days versus
I need to
the
start tracking
normal?
that.
Yeah,
that'd be
cool.
Yeah, that's probably
I have
something for
seen
next
some,
time.
which y'all probably have. I've
like
seen
all
some
the homes.
houses that are just sitting there and you look at the photography going, God, that house, you're not doing any favors for that house. With that.
When I'm on Zillow, I can tell. I'm like, we did this house. We did this house. Tyler did this one.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can just tell by the angles and how it looks
But
Like,
on
and I
Zillow,
can-
it's not stamped. Like it doesn't have your.
Can't be.
Oh, it can't be.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Because I found this out the hard way. So after an agent uploads to MLS, MLS attempts to claim the images as theirs. And so that's a whole other debacle that has to get figured out one
Yeah.
day too. So that's a fun time.
Yeah.
But I want to give a couple shout outs to Stars Mill Photography, Brad Zimmerman. Um, they are fantastic in this area as well. And so like if it's not us, it's them. And their stuff's amazing. And so it's like you can really tell the agents that are in like they understand the marketing side of real estate and go, hey, we need to hire a professional. And you can tell the budget ones that just use their phone, like, bless y'all, you know who you are. But those are the ones to me, whenever you walk in, you're like, hey, we're going to sell your home, and this is the commission. If you're still taking the pictures with your phone, I'm going to ask you to leave. That's for me personally. And so, but like spend some money, do some proper
Yeah.
marketing to if you're really going to go after this.
I would say the value's there.
Yeah.
Like it's a
100%.
big difference.
Yeah, it's
like,
a huge difference.
It's one of those things. I don't know. And
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
a
you
real
get
estate
it.
agent or photography. I just like I've seen the difference.
Yeah.
And I don't understand
Even if
why
you-
you would ever not.
Yeah, just looking through Zillow or Realtor.com or whatever, you can
Yeah.
just tell the ones that are like just a step above, going, okay, you did this one yourself versus this home, same price points. I'm gonna go look at this one instead that has the professional stuff done
Right.
because that agent's probably gonna be easier to work with.
Right.
Well,
in
and
my
it
head.
just it shows that it's a place worth investing into, and I believe that with outside of real estate too, like any marketing or
Mhm.
media. Like I can tell, like we work with a bunch of people who they love it, they know it's necessary, and it serves them so well because their clients and their customers see how much they actually value that part,
Mhm.
and it shows them that they value themselves and what they're selling.
Mhm.
So like to me, I'm like, to me, if I was someone who needed branding or some whatever, photography, media, for anything, like if I value it and I want other people to know that I value it, I'm going to invest in, what they see from it too.
Right. That's awesome. Well, I'll end with this. So, from the approach of a business owner. So, when I asked people, I was like, "Why do so many people work with Tyler?" Like I asked people, like, "Why is he?" And it had nothing to do with photography. Your photography was obviously complimented, but it was the way that you communicated your natural smile.
Yeah.
There's RBF, and you're the
Yeah,
opposite. Of that.
I have
Like,
no
you were
RBF.
smiling.
Yeah.
You're the opposite.
Yeah.
There's gotta be-
Yeah.
You probably caught me like
I'll ask you first, and then I want to ask you
Okay.
for advice for a small business owner
Sure.
that's in service. Like, what do you think that he does that's not the picture or the editing that is so attractive to real estate agents? Why is so many people calling?
Yeah, and I've asked this question and have had it just
Oh, gosh.
said to me without like being asked from realtors I go and do work for him with, and they're just like, man, I just love Tyler. Like he's always communicating. His social media presence is huge. I think that's something that brings in a lot of people.
For sure.
Just because they're getting extra eyes on their stuff without even having to pay. They're paying for the whole
Mhm.
service in general, but ask for it, and they're genuinely just getting somebody who they know loves what they do and is going to do it to the best of their ability. And I think that it just shows immediately
Yeah.
when you work with him that's what you're getting. There's
Yeah.
there's never really like a doubt with that. And
Yeah.
communication I think is best, but all of that stuff is true, and that's
So-
what I think and what I've heard from other people.
Oh, that's
So I'll
awesome.
hit on that before you go. So, when we talk about social media presence,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just posting.
Mm.
Like I was telling somebody else that I have not seen somebody in years, and I could tell that they had changed personally and in the most positive way.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that your personality and your positiveness, your aura, as the kids say,
Yeah.
now,
The
comes
Riz,
out-
baby.
Your Riz comes across in social media, and that's why your social media works, is because people like seeing your
Yeah.
social media. So it's not just about posting a video,
Mm.
which is my current struggle, because I'm trying to create this and that, and
Yeah.
I'm learning from people that are just putting out good energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is a compliment to you.
Oh, man,
I
that's
don't even know
awesome.
that it's something you can
Yeah.
even do intentionally. I don't. It's just it's
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why they're attractive. And I guess it's more of a message to myself and to anyone else that's trying to grow their social media is it's not just what you put out there. It's that energy that you put out there.
It's how
Yeah.
you connect with people.
Yeah, for sure. To me too, I always fall back on the tenet of know, like, and trust. So you're not going to work with somebody unless you know them. You're not going to continue to work them if you don't trust them. If you don't like them, you're definitely not going to keep going back. And so I was asked recently about that. And so to me, I put I hate to say it, I put everything out there, the good, the bad, the ugly, because I want people to realize, like, okay, Tyler comes, he's going to work, but when he gets home, there's still family, there's still dogs, there's dinner to cook, there's bedtime routines, and then there's work again.
Yeah.
And so, like, people have to realize too, like, our turnaround for real estate is stupid. 24 hours sometimes is hard. Like weddings, we tell people week, 2 weeks, a month, and they're happy with that.
Yeah.
Real estate, if it's not the next day, they're like, "Where's my pictures?" And so until that part can kind of like come back a little bit into like reality, to me too, like once you can kind of break in and get people to know who you are on social, it's really can dial back a lot of extra comments that could come later. Like, man, I know Tyler's doing XYZ today. I'm gonna give him a little bit of extra grace.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of things too, as a business owner, like the more people know about your story and what's going on in your everyday, then they're going to realize, like, hey, whenever I get my stuff back, it's going to be perfect, even if it does take a little bit of extra time.
Right. And that's perfect. I mean, it does not sound, I can't believe the turnaround is expected to be 24 hours on
Most of them, yeah.
photography because I don't turn my, my photos from my Boy Scout event. I don't get them posted in 24 hours. It takes longer than that to go through them and just decide which ones are the best ones. And, and there's a lot riding on what you post.
The editing process of one photo is insane.
Yeah.
Like, so, and there's a lot of work that goes into it to get it next day, and then also now I had 6 more of those in one day, and all 6 of those are next day returns.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is insane.
It's hard.
And if you're photographing, I don't know photography English very well clearly, or maybe that word just throws me out. But if you're photographing all day, then when you're editing, like it's just you're full on.
Yeah.
You're full on. But I think we do have to consider the pressure. The same in my business. Like when I'm pressuring my processor, it's only because someone is behind me pressuring me.
Mm-hmm.
It's only because that agent has an expectation. So that home buyer, that's who we need to get to.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you should have made a decision to get photographs 2 weeks ago, but you're the one that wanted to wait and you're still deciding on it. Yeah. And now everything's a rush.
Yeah, that's why a part of my process is I'll always ask when's the go live date. And so I typically try to ask people to get photos done at least like 48 to 72 hours before the go live date that they've promised to the client. That way, in case I need to do any extra touching, that way I've got that extra time built in versus like I've got to now lose all night sleep kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. I appreciate y'all so much. I know you're extremely busy, so for y'all to give me the time,
no, for sure.
Means a lot.
Yeah, really thanks for having us out. Cool.
That's it. See, I was going to end with a happy Thanksgiving. I was going to say Merry Christmas. So I was like, I don't know the timestamp.
No, do it.
Hey, it is close to Thanksgiving. We're a week away, so find something to be thankful for, and change that energy that you're putting out there. Be conscious, and that goes for everybody. Even if you don't have business that you're trying to put out there, be considerate of the energy that you're putting out there with everything that you're 100%. Posting and sharing and your comments. And again, I'm speaking to myself 100%. But if I could share. What am I thankful for? I'm thankful for my new table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solid looking table.
What am I thankful for? I'm just glad to be healthy, and I just there's a lot of people with some big battles right now, and I'm just glad to be able to get up and be able to smile. There's really no reason not to be putting out positive energy when you have so much going on.
Bingo.
For you
every day.
That's a good one.
Oh, thank you. Bye-bye.